Keith will be in soon. Hola, I did have a couple people email in that they wouldn't be in tonight. And that, of course, well, yeah, you know what? We've all got funny things that happen with our schedules. So I get it. That's okay. Aquí viene Keith. Here comes Keith. I knew Keith was not going to be long behind. Okay. Vale, magnifico. Okay. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. My absolute beginner class, somebody emailed me today and she said, why, when we come on, right at the beginning, why do you always say, ¿Cómo están ustedes? Why do you always call us ustedes? When it's on the Zoom screen, I said, because there's more than one of you. Oh. So he said, yeah, that's why. Yeah, all those stinking rules. And yeah, in practice. Okay. Lo que vamos a hacer, what we're going to do tonight. Vamos a repasar un poquito algunas cosas con Destinos. We'll review a few things with Destinos, even though it's a clip show, as my husband likes to say, you know, it's like the highlights. So if you weren't caught up, and if you're new, you know, it's a good thing to help remind you of why this story is happening and how it kicked into motion, how it has progressed. But we'll note a few little things of, you know, what might have happened along the way there that kind of ties into things we have done this session. Segundo, traer, llevar. I'm going to split you up into groups and work on that a little bit. We'll look on some things to preview, because I know that is a kind of a confusing topic, but that's what we're doing. We're doing this about, you know, we're taking a lot of topics that are confusing things. We're going to take a look at a few more verbs that are close together in meaning, like all those double L things that we had last week, but this week it's going to be some bechita, some V verbs, and some ways to think about it. And I hope to get to quedar. I wanted to get to quedar. I am hoping. We are going to either end up with or send you off with kind of a fun article to read for, I think probably this will be over the weekend. It's like a graphic novel. So if you really, you know, if you don't know what a graphic novel is, it looks like a comic book, but it's got some meaty stuff to read. Teenagers like graphic novels. They take actually very famous literature sometimes to get kids to read the book. They start with the graphic novel and, you know, you get the highlights. Oh, okay, I guess I could go read that book, yeah. Anyway, it's a fun little thing that I happened to find by chance, and by golly, it's got verbs like llevar and quedar and all those things we've been talking about. And it's on kind of a fun, artsy topic. So if we don't get to it, that will be what we tie things up with at the end and send you off with for some easy to do reading. Muy bien, vamos a empezar con Destinos. We're going to start with Destinos. Y voy a cambiar mi pantalla. I've got to change my screen a little bit here, un poquito. ¿Dónde están mis preguntas? Aquí están. Here they are. Episodio 25. Episodio 25. Okay. A ver. El repaso. It's a review. Es un repaso. They have lots of, there's one great big fat odd saying that comes up super early. And we're going to take a look at that soon because we've been working on the whole pronoun thing. Vamos a ver, I'm going to see if I can find the exact spot. But I'm going to kind of try to anticipate ahead of time some things that I think probably would have struck you as a huh moment. Huh? What was that? You know, you kind of followed the gist of what they were saying, but then you got to that one sentence like, what was that about? ¿Qué quiere decir? What does it mean? ¿Qué quiere decir? Vamos a ver. Ah, Jorge. Jorge no le cae muy bien. Jorge no le cae muy bien. No le cae muy bien. Caer, to fall. To fall, caer. Jorge doesn't fall. Le cae, doesn't fall on her, huh? Okay, we know he's a skirt chaser, but that's a little extreme. Throwing himself at her. What the heck is going on here? Okay. ¿Alguien sabe qué quiere decir? Anybody know? ¿Alguien sabe qué quiere decir no le cae muy bien?
Sí.
Ah, Juanita.
No me gusta. No
es
me
como
gusta.
decir no me gusta. No me gusta. No me gusta, no le cae muy bien. This is a phrase that is used more when you talk about friendship type like. You could say me gusta for somebody, like, you know, I like that person, but it tends to often have more of a wink, wink kind of connotation to it, to use gustar that way. When you just say, conocí al nuevo novio de mi hija. I met my daughter's new boyfriend. Conocí al nuevo novio de mi hija. Él me cae bien. Él me cae bien. I like him. Le cae or me cae, you're talking about enjoying that person's company, that you like them as a human being. It's a friendship thing, as opposed to a physical attraction thing, which gustar may start to creep into that very, very easily. Okay, so if you just say you like a person, like a friend, somebody you met, a neighbor, it's caer bien. But that caer is like the whoever it is that you like. And here with no le cae muy bien, they're making it negative, doesn't like him, literally falls well. I know that doesn't make sense, but this is just what they use to say that. It's kind of like, I guess you could say in English, somebody strikes me as a good person. They strike me. And, you know, strike has a different meaning, and that seems a little odd for, you know, English to have that connotation. So, okay. No me cae bien. I don't like them. No nos cae bien. We don't like them. Literally, that person falls well on somebody or doesn't fall well on somebody. Me cae bien. Nos cae bien. We like him. Okay.
So question on that. No le cae bien, muy bien. That's her saying she doesn't like him. The le is him.
No. Well, okay. The cae is our friend Jorge here.
Yeah.
That's the cae. And the le is whoever it is that feels the like, or in this case, does not like. So the le is talking about Raquel, and it's talking about from the outside, an outsider looking in on the situation.
Okay, that's not her thoughts, but that's the third.
It's her thought, but we're talking about her.
It's like narrating.
Yeah, narrated, exactly.
Okay.
See, narrated.
Okay,
See.
So the le is an indirect object.
It's an indirect object pronoun, and this is just the words that hook up to say that you enjoy somebody's company in a very friendly, non-committal, real general sort of way. And you'll notice they've got the Jorge up front. So the Jorge and the cae, those are the two things that match up with the subject and verb. And le cae, the le is talking about who likes, or in this case doesn't like, which the le is talking about Raquel. Okay.
So if Raquel were saying it, she would say, no me cae bien.
She would say, talking about him, no me cae bien, no me cae bien. Right. No me cae bien. No nos cae bien. We don't like him. No les cae bien. They don't like him. So the me, the te, the nos, the le, or the les tells who likes. And the caer is about the person who is the object of that like or dislike. So that was our first thing. It was like that, and that came up pretty darn fast. And it was very, very, very odd and kind of a jarring thing to talk about. Okay. They had a lot of, you heard a lot of le dice kind of sentences, a lot of la invita, she invites her. So it's le dice, somebody says to someone else, le dice, because what do you say? The direct object is whatever words came out of somebody's mouth, right? Le dice, she tells him or she tells her, okay? But la invita, she invites her. Who does she invite her? So a la invita, when they talk about Raquel inviting Angela over to the hotel, to have a swim and have some refreshments. Who does she invite? She invites Angela. So that's why Angela turns into the word la invita. Raquel la invita. Raquel invites her, and the la talks about Angela. That's a direct object. But Raquel le dice, she says something. We don't really know what the direct object is. It's whatever words came out of her mouth. But she says it to him or to her. And that's why the le dice is always le dice, okay? It wouldn't be a la dice, it's a le dice, okay? They had another kind of fun bit. Ooh. ¿Dónde se fue? Where did it go? Lo perdí. Wow, I lost it somehow. Okay. Perdón. I think I'm not going to be able to go through bit by bit. I lost my... Ooh, I can probably get it back in case I need it. They had another thing where they had a term they used. I want to see if people can guess what it was about. Hablaban de el intercambio de ideas en el hotel entre Ángela y Raquel. Y había un término, there was a term, and they used una discusión fuerte. They gave this term, una discusión fuerte. If you don't have the chat box on, make sure you turn that on. Una discusión fuerte. ¿Qué es una discusión fuerte? Fuerte es...
Wow.
Argument?
Exacto, yeah. Sí. Okay, so una discusión fuerte. Anytime you want to say they had words. They had words. We use that in English, don't we? They had words. And that's never a good sign, is it? Yeah, they had words. They had an argument. Una discusión fuerte. Yeah, fuerte is used as more than just strong, like physically strong. Fuerte can be used to talk about an argument, a heated discussion. Maybe a better way to phrase that in English would be a heated discussion. That's how we might phrase it. Una discusión fuerte, a heated exchange, a heated discussion. Fuerte is also used for the volume of your voice. hablar muy fuerte, you know, they use un volumen muy fuerte. Fuerte is used with sound to indicate that something is turned up, cranked up way too loud. Way too loud. So fuerte has more meanings than just strong. Although you can see how you kind of change it from strong into loud if it's volume, or heated if it's a discussion. You know, that kind of makes sense. We had another kind of odd phrase, which I thought people might have questions about. Ooh, I'm typing into nothingness. ¿Qué nombre le puso al hijo? ¿Qué nombre le puso al hijo? What name she? Oh, it's talking about one person because Puso is a past. Puso is past. Puso is from poner. Poner means to put. Poner es to put, ¿verdad? Poner, to put. Okay. Puso es el pretérito. It's the past tense. So, okay, por ejemplo, puse la taza de té aquí. Puse la taza de té aquí. I put the cup there because I just did it and I'm done with it. So I'm not doing it now, I did it. And here we're talking about somebody. It's not yo, even though it ends in an all, and all at the end with past tense doesn't mean I do it like it does in present tense. Puso means put. What name did she put on him?
What did she name him?
What did she name him? We just use to name or to give a name. You give a name to somebody. But in Spanish, quite often, this phrase is used to say that you name something, you put a name on them. As a matter of fact, the very beginning episodes, when they have the little dog, Osito, the little el perrito, that little dog that the little boy got, like maybe episode 3 or 4. ¿Qué nombre le puso? What name did you give him? And yeah, so poner is used to say to name somebody. Literally in Spanish, you put a name on somebody. Okay. A ver. Se estableció. They did a recap of the Gaucho fellow, the man who used to live on Rosario's old ranch in Argentina. Or no, actually, I think this was with Senora Suarez. She says, se estableció en la Argentina. Se estableció is a way they often use to say settled. Literally established oneself, but we would say settled down in a place. Okay, settled down in a place. So it's indicating that somebody moved, they set up their life in this new space. Se estableció. She set up household, literally. She settled in. The best translation, se estableció. She settled in that new place. Okay? Okay. Otra cosita. Oh, perdón. Federico, sí.
So there was a sentence there. Ya desiste cuando te vas a ir. So first of all, just kind of getting it is a little bit rough for me. But then when you throw in the TE in front of us, yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at.
What's the whole sentence again?
Ya desiste cuando te vas a ir.
Ya desiste. I'm not getting the verb. I'm sorry.
Decidiste.
Decidiste.
Oh,
Ya decidiste. Ya decidiste. Ya decidiste.
Ya decidiste. Okay.
Was it at the end of the episode, kind of?
Okay.
Arturo.
Ya decidiste cuándo te
Vas a ir.
vas a ir. Okay, here's the sentence he had a question about. Ya decidiste cuándo te vas a ir. Ya decidiste. Did you already do something? Decidiste es pasado. It's past. It means it's done. Decidiste is talking to tú, you. Ya decidiste, you already did this. You already decided when te vas.
Why is it te vas? Is it because ear can be reflexive like ear say? Why
The
is
te
it?
vas is irse. The te vas is irse. So you already decided when you're going to leave. And you could say this, vas a irte or te vas a ir. Voy a ir, I'm going to go.
Mhm.
Voy a ir. Vas a ir, you're going to go. Te vas a ir, you're going to leave. You're going to take off. So when they were talking about, they were deciding about, well, they weren't deciding. He says, oh, you already decided when you're going to leave, when you're going to take off. When we want to know, for example, he was double checking with her when her flight was going, okay, when she was going to fly out. And that's how he checked with her. Ya decidiste cuándo te vas a ir. Did you already decide when you're going to take off? So he's asking for her departure time.
What if he said tu vas? Tu, like, because it's tu vas. Vas is conjugated for you, which is tu. Why is it te instead of tu? Tu vas.
It's the difference between this.
Because
Irse is to go away or take off.
oh, okay.
It just makes it a more fluid leave, get out. Okay.
Mhm.
But a lot of times we'll say take off. And you know, it might really be you're taking off in your car as opposed to taking off in a plane. It means you're leaving a place. Okay. And the te is really from irse. Vas a irte or te vas a ir. And you're using ir and ir, ir and ir. I'm going to go. We do that too. I'm going to go. Vas a ir. You're going to go. Vas a ir, you're going to go. Te vas a ir, you're going to go away. You're going to take off. You're going to leave this place. The te and the ir are talking about going away, leaving in a very fluid way. It's just irse.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but you can also say tu vas, couldn't you? You go, tu vas.
Tu vas a ir, you're going to go, versus te vas a ir, you're gonna leave, you're gonna get out. You're taking off. So somebody asks you, when are you going? Oh, I'm going Friday. When do you take off? Oh, I take off Friday about 10 o'clock. That's the difference.
So it's a very subtle
It's
difference
a very subtle thing.
because
And people probably won't bother with the tu unless for some reason, I don't know, they're talking with a whole bunch of people and they want to emphasize, oh, wait a minute, I know his departure time. I know her departure time. Hey, wait a minute, how about you? You, and they do that with their voice. You, tú te vas a, see, cuando tú te vas a ir, when are you going? We do that with our voice. They would do that by including the word tú. But tú te vas a ir is pretty redundant. That's why it's like raising your voice in English. Usually they won't put the tú in there. Cuando te vas a ir? When are you taking off? That's it. Irse is a very subtle thing. It just means to go away, to leave, to scuttle away from a place. That's it. Yeah.
So I took that as that he was making that statement to her in the context that she was already had made up her mind because they had seen Angel's letter that said his address was in Puerto Rico and she was getting the hell out of there as soon as possible. And he knew that was on her mind. And that was the kind of the context I took it as how he was making that statement.
It gives it an immediacy, like
Right.
it's going to happen pretty fast.
Right. Okay.
Like it's likely to happen. Yeah. Often it has that kind of a connotation that it's imminent. It's going to happen soon.
Yeah, because then she talked about Don Fernando being sick. So it's like, yeah, I can't just
Can't
hang
take
out.
a lot of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta go.
They go through all that.
So there's more of an emergent need for leaving. There's more of a.
And so it's a very subtle thing of, well, this is going to happen in short period of time. Yeah.
Okay.
Exacto. Okay. And they use this irse a lot. They also used this when they did the recap. She also used irse, but in past, when she said, se fue a vivir. She went off to live. Se fue a vivir. Se fue means she took off. She booked it out of there.
Oh,
It's the same thing as the cuando te vas a ir, just a different tense, right? Se fue means it's already over with. Oh, and she's talking about where Rosario moved after she left Spain. Se fue a vivir. Se fue a vivir en la Argentina. She took off to live in Argentina. She got the heck out of here.
Mhm.
Boom, fast. Because her name was on some bad Franco list, and was like, I'm not living here anymore. On the wrong side of the political tracks. You know, she thinks her husband's been killed. Her husband was fighting against Franco. Shoot, I'm pregnant. Yeah.
Life is good.
Lost the guy. My house is in ruins, and I'm knocked up. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Ooh, se fue for sure. Yeah. Se fue a vivir. Okay. You had some more says come in. Ooh. And this had a little teeny tiny twist to it. Se casó de nuevo. Se casó de nuevo. So first she said, se fue a vivir en la Argentina, se estableció en Buenos Aires. She set up residence. She settled in Buenos Aires. Se casó de nuevo. Se casó, not so hard. Se casó, she got married.
Married.
She got married. What's that de nuevo thing?
Again.
Again. Ow. Oh, again. Se casó de nuevo. Here are 3 ways to say again. Why do they have so many ways to say again? No lo sé. I don't know why. Pero así es. Because they want to make it difficult. Yeah. Se casó de nuevo. Anytime you hear de nuevo, it's like saying anew. You know, if we say anew, because nuevo means new, right? De nuevo.
Mm-hmm.
But if you said to someone, well, she married anew, I mean, they'd know what you meant. They think that is pretty weird. You know, we use that word anew in kind of formal contexts. Yeah. So yeah, de nuevo. You could also say, se casó. What's another way we could say got married in it? Se casó.
Otra vez. Yeah.
Otra vez, another time, also means again. Otra vez is probably the most common way for beginner folks to say again. Se casó otra vez. Here is an advanced way to say again. And it takes more thought. but actually it's pretty commonly used. Volvió a casarse. Or you could like switch the word order, just like the te vas a ir, you could switch the word order, put the se up front, se volvió a casar. All of those things mean got married again. Volver means to return to a place. When you use volver and an a and the verb, the volver a means again. And whatever that second verb is, that's the thing you're doing again. Se volvió a casar. Se volvió a comer. Ate again. La vio. Nunca la volvió a ver. He never saw her again. Nunca la volvió a ver. Nunca la. I like that one so much, I'm going to write it down. Nunca la volvió a ver. He never saw her again. Volver plus a plus an infinitive means again. And the infinitive is the thing you did again. Okay. Vale? Those are all different ways, but you may hear somebody use any of those ways to say again. Otra vez being the easiest way, because you don't have to think about, oh no, I got to conjugate another verb, right? Otra vez is the easiest way. Bien. Ooh, she talked about the new hubby that Rosario had hooked up with over in Buenos Aires. And she said, and she did this, es un hacendado. Es un hacendado. He's an hacendado. What the heck's an hacendado?
I looked it up and it said Landover.
Yes, you know what here's how you can guess what that word means.
Hacienda.
You know what that is from movies about the Old West. Hacienda. Yeah, those
So
Old
is a
West
farmer a
movies.
rancher?
Yeah. Hacienda is a great big, es un rancho. So hacendado is a rancher, but he is a landowner. So we're talking estate. We're talking big acres, you know.
Bonanza.
Bonanza, there you go. Yeah, the Cartwright boys. Su papá es hacendado. Their dad's an hacendado. Exacto. So it's somebody who owns pretty, you know, so that's why, un hacendado. Wow, he's a big shot. That guy owns a lot of land. Yeah. Okay. Bien. And they did use something that you're going to use soon. They did say, Raquel trae las cartas de la señora Suárez a don Fernando. So, you know, they're going to bring in that traer thing again, but you'll practice that later in an easier way. Okay. Bien. And you know, speaking of that word vez, as in otra vez, we should see how we use that word vez. Vez is time, but I never use vez to ask like, what time is it? Okay. ¿Qué hora es? What hour is it? Yeah, what time is it? Mira la hora. Wow, look at the time. Mira la hora. But vez is time as in an iteration of time. So if you want to say, I did something once, it's una vez. Okay, una vez. Okay, dos veces, twice, tres veces, three times. So vez is an iteration of time, you know, the number of times, but it's never when you're asking about, you know, what time is it?
And so that's why a veces means sometimes.
Exacto, muy bien. Muy bien. So there are a lot of ways we use that word vez, but it's not like time on your watch. A veces is sometimes, because that literally means at times. Or, pocas veces, very few times. Or, muchas veces, many times. La última vez, the last time. La primera vez, first time. So these are all time and iteration of time. Okay, but never que vez es. Que hora es, right? Okay. What's another word we use for time besides vez and hora?
Tiempo.
Tiempo. Tiempo is used in yet other ways. Tiempo is not an iteration of time. You don't say un tiempo once, dos tiempos twice. No, it's una vez, dos veces, muchas veces, a veces, sometimes. Okay. Tiempo is time. Perdón, lo siento mucho, pero no tengo tiempo. I'm very sorry, but I don't have time. Doesn't mean I don't know the hour. I don't have the time. Hay mucho tiempo para hablar. There's a lot of time to talk. Hay mucho tiempo para practicar. There's lots of time to practice. No tenemos mucho tiempo. We don't have much time. Okay? And never, never, never for have a good time. Big no. Never, ever for have a good time. Right? Have a good time is other stuff, which we'll talk about later. Okay. Muy bien. A ver. Okay. Una cosita más. Una cosa de vocabulario. Some of these are just terms. Use the word zona. That looks a lot like zone. Kind of it is, but this is what you would use to say area or neighborhood. Zona is used pretty commonly, especially in Latin America, to talk about a general neighborhood. En la zona. You know, we would never say in the zone. Oh, he lives in the zone. Yeah.
Is it similar to barrio?
It's similar to barrio. Yeah, sí. Yeah, I would say synonym, un sinónimo. Yeah. En la zona. You know, the general area. En la zona. Okay. Pam. Okay. They used a little term. Oh, remember that wonderful wife of Hector? Well, actually, we have a couple of naggy wives in this. Sus amigotes. You know, we've got Jose, who's always at the bar. His wife's complaining that. We've got Hector, who comes home like thoroughly plastered from singing with his buddies at the cantina. Amigote, you know, your little buddies, you know. Here it was said kind of sarcastically, but it's not always necessarily sarcastic. Your little buddies. Another thing with vez. Darn, look at vez. Tal vez. Now it means nothing about time. Tal vez.
Bien.
And the way they, tal vez means the same thing as, perdón. Quizás, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Perhaps, tal vez. And the way this came, so vez is a very, vez kind of moves its way in and out of lots of phrases. So this again is like how This vocabulary all hooks up. You know, una vez means once, dos veces, última vez, last time, but tal vez has really nothing to do with time. Tal vez means perhaps or maybe. Okay, it's indicating that you're not sure. And they had this in the phrase, the whole phrase. The way this came up was the naggy wife and the people screaming out the window. You know, they came home late, and the husband comes back all drunk, and Raquel turns to Arturo and she says, "Tal vez sea mejor." Maybe it would be best. Maybe it's best that we leave. As the wife is yelling at the husband, the neighbors are yelling, "Let us sleep." They don't like all the commotion. Tal vez sea mejor. Maybe it might be best. It might be better. Tal vez. So tal vez is maybe. So it's another way of using vez. Okay. A ver. ¿Qué más? Una cosita más. One other thing I wanted to. Oh, two other things. Dos cosas. Two other things I wanted to bring up. This term. Mal presentimiento. Arturo le dijo a Raquel, tengo un mal presentimiento.
Means bad feeling.
Bad feeling. Bad feeling. Premonition.
Yeah, I've got a bad feeling, but the feeling is more the idea of a premonition. I know what's coming. Presentimiento is kind of I've got to feel like I can see where this is going. You know, mal presentimiento, I've got a bad feeling about this. I have a bad premonition. Okay, so that's what he was talking about there. Y por fin, and then I'll take whatever questions you might have. I've got one more, uno más. Piensa quedarse a vivir. They were talking about Angel taking off for El Caribe, and this letter that Hector had kept. Hector, you know, he's sitting there with his fishing pole, and he's handed the letter off to Arturo that Angel had left. And Angel had written a letter saying, "I'm getting out of Argentina. I'm never coming back to this place. I'm out of here." Okay. And in the letter, he says, piensa quedarse a vivir. Piensa quedarse a vivir. And piensa generally means,
I think.
thinks. But when I pair up pensar with another verb, it becomes something else. It means to plan to do something, to intend to do something. So piensa quedarse means he plans to stay and live there.
That's when he was talking, he was going to stay in Puerto Rico, right?
Exacto.
Yeah.
He plans to stay and to live in Puerto Rico. Piensa quedarse. He plans to stay. Okay. Kind of like establecerse, but quedarse is just stay. Establecerse is really to set down roots, settle yourself. Yeah. Okay. Quedarse is just stay. And quedarse may be kind of temporary or permanent, you know. Establecer is very permanent. Quedar for stay is could be momentary or could be long term. Doesn't really have any connotation to how long. Vale? Bien? Okay. Were there other questions you had about what happened in that episode? Things that might have happened? Or funny words they might have used?
There was a sense, Héctor, descriado, ya sé que estás ahí.
What's the first? Can you type the first word that you're using there?
Oh,
This,
maybe. Well, let me try that. I have to get into.
I may not remember every single word. Was it what his wife was yelling?
Well,
at him?
Hector was the first word. So it was just,
Hector.
and it was.
Criado. I don't recall exactly which word you're referring to. I would have to go back through the episode.
Yeah, and I didn't write down enough of it to.
They called him a lot of things. None of them were very nice. They weren't real cursy things, but his wife is not his. She called atorrante. She called him a great big lazy nothing. Atorrante.
Yeah.
That's what that means.
Atorrante meant you lazy bum.
Me.
Yeah.
Disagreeable? I don't know.
O atorrante? O desagradable? Oh, she might have used desagradable. Yeah, desagradable is disagreeable, but desagradable. It's not a vulgar thing, but it's like you're really putting them down. Desagradable. What a jerk! What a jerk! Muy desagradable. Okay. Bien. Okay. ¿Algo más o no? No, nada. Okay. A ver. Let's move on to this wonderful thing that is traer. And
one more thing, if I could.
Sí, sí.
There were words that were very similar, like extranjero for foreign or foreigner,
Sí, sí.
extrañar to miss,
Oh.
and extraño stranger. So they're very similar, but
okay.
somewhat different.
Extraño, if it's a noun, can be a strange person. Un extraño. Not strange as in weird. Strange as in
Someone you don't know?
someone you don't know. Yeah. An unfamiliar person. Un extraño. Not a known person. Okay. So it doesn't have a bad connotation at all. But if somebody says, te extraño, what they're saying is, I miss you. Te extraño mucho. I miss you. It's one of the ways of saying, I miss you. Te extraño. Extrañar as a verb is to miss a person or a place. It could be referring to a place too. Te extraño. Okay. And extranjero. Extranjero often means abroad, outside of the country, which you get the idea of how you got to extraño, meaning a strange person, unknown, somebody who comes from outside of your established area, right? El extranjero means abroad, any place that is outside of one's native country. Voy al extranjero, I'm traveling, viajo al extranjero, I'm traveling abroad, I'm not traveling in the country. Viajo al extranjero, I'm traveling abroad. So yeah, there are lots of ways that word morphs into multiple little meanings. Te extraño, I miss you, I wish you were here. But extranjero, someplace that's not inside this country. And extraño, somebody who is a stranger, somebody who is unknown in these parts.
So there's no tilde on the N in
No.
extranjero, but it is still from the same root?
Extranjero, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's from the same root, yeah. They all kind of relate to something that is foreign.
Right.
Foreign. Yeah, extranjero mean foreign, extranjero. Okay. Buenas preguntas. Okay. ¿Hay otra pregunta o no? ¿No? Bien. Okay. Vamos a ver. Let's get on with traer. Traer, I never, as a teenager, I never thought of traer as being a problem. The problem with traer was learning that traigo is the odd form for yo, traigo. And none of the other things had a go, right? It was traigo and traes and all of those. Okay. So I never, as a young teenage kind of student, thought about traer and llevar and all that. And lo and behold, as I got older, I discovered that it really bugs some people that we English speakers confuse the whole situation when you use llevar and when you use traer, which is what you're going to go off and practice a little bit. And some people, unfortunately, got even more confused by the video, which was supposed to clarify it, but it may not have done the job for you. Okay, we're going to take a look at why these things are confusing and their vocab issues. There are certain words in English which, wind up causing troubles when we have a new language. And one of them is this little puppy here. Okay, so I found another source, lest you not be confused. And don't overthink it either, by the way. But llevar is to take something there. Okay? But traer is to, llevar can also mean to bring something to that place. Okay? So what I'm saying is we use bring for both of these verbs at times. In English, we use bring, okay? But in Spanish, they don't necessarily use the same verb. So let's look at the example, see if we can figure it out from that. Voy a tu casa y te llevo los documentos. I'm coming to your house and I'll bring you, I haven't done it yet. I'll bring you the documents. I'll bring you the papers, documentos, okay? Voy a tu casa y te llevo. I'll bring to your house, I'm coming to your house and notice, we talked about this before. Voy a tu casa, I'm coming. It's not vengo. Yeah, because I'm talking about my intention to do the walking. Boy really is I'm coming, not I'm going. I know you are going to the house, but how we would say it if we said it in English would be, voy a tu casa, I'm coming to your house. Y te llevo, and I'll bring you. Okay, so in other words, llevar indicates that somebody is going to pick up the stuff, move it someplace else, hand it over in possession to somebody else, but I am not at that person's house yet, okay? I am not at the destination point where those documentos need to be, okay? But, okay, then we look at the next one. Carlos vino a mi casa. Carlos came to my house. Carlos vino a mi casa y me trajo 2 libros. And trajo is just the past of traer. And he brought me 2 books. Well, now we're at a point where the thing that was transported, which was the libros, they're at that destination. So if the stuff getting moved is already at the destination, it's traer for bring. If the stuff isn't at the destination yet, but it's somewhere en route, then it's llevar. I know. Pobre Karen, I know. This doesn't bother us. For some reason, it does bother them. Okay.
I thought his video, parts of it to me were confusing and parts of it made sense, but I did a screenshot of this little thing.
Yeah.
And that makes perfect sense.
The starting point versus the end point.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with ir and venir. The exact same scenario. Ir means you're going, but venir when you got to the new place. Yeah, I know. So they've got this big blunder, which of course makes you feel really great, doesn't it? That word blunder. Do not use traer unless you are already at your friend's house and mean I brought you the documents. So that means that stuff needs to be at the end point, the destination. Te traigo los documentos mañana is wrong because of that word mañana. And because traigo is right now. Te traigo los documentos mañana means I'll bring you the documents tomorrow, but we can't do that because if I'm bringing them to you tomorrow, they're not at the destination. That will happen in the future. And I can't say that. I could say, te traje, I brought you, it's already done, a done deal. Te traje los documentos ayer, I brought you the documents yesterday, meaning those documents are now in your possession. That would be okay. Okay, but not okay if they're in transit, en route. If they are en route, traer is not the thing to say to bring, even though traer means to bring. Entienden? Understand? Yeah. Okay. So what this means is, practically speaking, when you are asking somebody to shoot something over your way, right? We're going to use different kinds of verbs. Okay. A ver. If you can pull up, I don't know if you've got it on your printed out or on your screen and it's on a second screen, well, however you got it. It's the second page. We did this top part. Okay, this top part. Okay. Let's think about this. And we're going to look at, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, and 9. Okay. And we're using different things with llevar too. So remember that llevar is used for a bunch of reasons, right? Llevar is used for spending time in a place. Llevar is used for wearing clothing. Llevar is used for taking somebody like in your car or walking along with them to get to a place. Okay, so, but keep in mind when you're asking for, somebody to bring you something like in an ordering situation, that will be traer, We're gonna look at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna look at 4 of these, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want you to take off with a small group, see if you can work out which ideas you came up with to say, can you bring the documents to the meeting? No, Luis has them. I'm bringing the equipment. They've been in Puerto Peñasco for a month and those kids don't get along. It's another use of llevar. But if you just look up get, you won't, have that. So yeah. Let's see if we can work out some ideas with that. And there might be a workaround. Again, a workaround is always good to know. So a workaround is not a bad thing. I'm going to try to send you off into maybe groups of 3. A ver, bien. And I'm going to give you maybe 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, because you're not working on this from scratch, right? See? Correcto? Okay. Vale. A ver. You are going to have to hit your join button. Join button.